A big bienvenue to our fans around the world from Montreal, Quebec. Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler.
And folks, let me assure you that tonight's show is a lot better than JR's French. Sheesh.
Well, there's no question of that, King. These Montreal fans are ready to get started, and so am I. So what are we waiting for?
His opponent telegraphed that one.
Excellent counter. What ring presence?
He turned the tables on his opponent with that one. The Hart name is a legendary name in the sports entertainment business, and Bret Hart is a legend among legends.
And these fans are getting a real treat watching the Hitman in action tonight.
They're not the only ones. I can watch Bret Hart compete every night of the week. Can you believe we actually get paid to do this job, JR?
It's like a dream come true, King. Except when I have to sit here and listen to you drool over the divas.
Come on, JR. You know I'm helpless when it comes to puppies.
Oh, I know, King. And that's why I'm bringing a pitcher of ice water out here with me next time.
These superstars are beating the heck out of each other, and this crowd can't get enough of it.
It's what they paid to see, King, and they're getting their money's worth tonight. Look at him feeding off the energy from this capacity crowd. He's unstoppable.
You can't ever count on these fans, JR. They're fickle, and they'll abandon you in a heartbeat.
I'm a Raw man through and through, but I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't love to have a superstar like Rey Mysterio on the roster.
Why would you want to do something like that?
The Hitman's got the legs, and you know what's coming next.
I sure do. Sharpshooter! Talk about your excellence of execution.
Boy, what a match. I wouldn't even hazard a guess as to who's going to win this thing.
What? Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? It's been obvious to me since the start of the match.
Oh, really? Well then, why don't you just enlighten the rest of it?
No way! I can already tell this is going to be a great match, and I don't want to ruin the ending for you.
You're too kind, King. You're also full of horse manure, as far as I can tell. I tell you, King, I've got no earthly idea how these superstars can maintain this intensity week after week after week.
It's not easy, JR. There's no off-season. It's not like you've got 6 months to recover after WrestleMania.
That's for damn sure. And that's why I don't think there can be any doubt in anyone's mind that the superstars of the WWE are the greatest athletes in the world.
So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
But you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself if it's all the same to you, King.
You take one look at Bret Hart, and it's not hard to see why he's a WWE Hall of Famer.
I'll put it he's all fired up now, King, and I'd hate to be on the receiving end.
I don't think his opponent's got a hope of hurting him now.
This capacity crowd is solidly behind their super.
He's got that leg. He's going for it.
And the Hitman's got it. The sharpshooter is locked in.
fans be this excited about Rey Mysterio, JR? He's so tiny that half of them probably can't even see him in the ring.
Well, King, there's an old saying. Size doesn't matter. It's what you do with it that counts. And I'm sure you've heard that one before.
What? What are you saying, JR? Don't try to change the subject just because you know I'm right. Ugh.
I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted just watching these superstars compete.
I know what you mean, JR. I don't think most people appreciate what incredible athletes these WWE superstars really are.
You've got to have some excellent conditioning to be able to do what they do.
Well, that's the name of the game, JR. You gotta keep moving. No dog ever peed on a moving car.
Oh, that's a lovely image, King. I'd ask you where you come up with this stuff, but I don't think I want to know, quite frankly. Calgary's Bret Hart calls himself the excellence of execution, and it's not hard to see why.
From anyone else, that would just be ego. From the Hitman, it's the truth, plain and simple.
And that's why Bret Hart is one of the WWE's most respected Hall of Famers. Boy, what an incredible competitor Rey Mysterio is. I'd have to say that pound for pound, he might be the most exciting superstar on the SmackDown roster.
That's an easy claim to make, JR. Mysterio only weighs about 90 pounds soaking wet with a brick in each pocket.
Will you stop it? He's 165 pounds and 5'6". He might be on the smaller end of the spectrum, but that doesn't diminish his ability. This could be the end of the match right here.
It absolutely could. A pile driver like that is not something you just shake off. Well, from the looks of things, it's not hard to tell how this one's gonna go.
What are you talking about, King? I think this is still an extremely competitive match that could go either way.
You know, JR, it's obvious that the only exercise you get is stretching the truth or jumping to conclusions.
Well, judging from the shape I'm in, I don't appear to be doing too much of either, King. You're looking pretty fit, though, I must say.
You talk about ruthless aggression. Look at the way these superstars have been going after each other.
They're not playing with kid gloves, that's for sure.
We knew we were going to see a heck of a match, but this might turn out to be... No. Go ahead and say it, JR.
All right, I will. I think this one's got all the makings of a bona fide slobber knocker. Bret Hart might well be the greatest technical superstar to ever compete in the WWE. I've got a feeling that this has all the makings of an instant classic.
That's probably just gas, JR.
Well, I did have some good old Oklahoma barbecue before tonight's show, but I don't think that's it, King.
Ugh. This has gone beyond just being a match, JR. I think these superstars genuinely hate each other.
There's no love lost between these competitors, that's for sure. If looks could kill, somebody would be pushing up daisies right now.
And you've got to admit, that makes for a much more interesting match, JR.
It sure does. But I just hope these superstars can settle their differences in the ring and leave it at that.
Ugh. These fans can't stand it when he does this, JR. but I think it's great.
He's sure not going to win over any fans with that move, but I don't think that bothers him too much, quite frankly.
Any superstar shows the slightest hint of weakness, they've lost the match.
That's for sure. No matter how beat up you are.
Uh-oh. Someone's about to get dumped on their head.
What a pile driver by Bret The Hitman Hart! That may have knocked his opponent out cold! I'll be honest with you, King. This is not the way I thought this match would go at all.
Me neither, JR. I guess that just goes to show that anything can happen in the WWE.
I think you hit the nail right on the head, King. And it's that unpredictability that makes it so exciting.
I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's gonna go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective, JR, but I'd have to get my head out of my rear end first.
And Lord knows it's been up there for so long that that would be no easy feat.
He just stole his opponent's finishing move. Talk about adding insult to injury, JR.
These superstars are in terrific shape, and that comes as no surprise whatsoever.
No kidding. If you don't have that conditioning, you're not going to last long in a match.
You sure aren't, and that's only one of the
Here's